enemy wants peace, let the enemy go. Here the Quran says, don't let the enemy go. Escort them to a place of security. This is the guidance given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, that if the enemy want asylum, want peace, don't just give it to them. Escort them to a place of security so that they may hear the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Almost all the verses of the Quran that speak about fighting, the next verse says that peace is better. If they want peace, give it to them. Because Islam is a religion of peace. And by quoting out of context, they're giving a different picture of Islam. Quran clearly mentions in Surah Ma'idah, chapter number 5, verse number 32, that if any Muslim kills any other human being, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, unless it be for murder or for spreading corruption in the land, it is as though he has killed the whole of humanity. Here the Quran says, if any human being kills any other human being, whether it be Muslim or non-Muslim, any innocent human being, it is as though you have killed the whole of humanity. And if you save any other human being, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, it is as though you have saved the whole of humanity. I am a student of comparative religion. I have not come across any religious scripture which says that if you kill one human being, any innocent human being, you have killed the whole of humanity. Or, if you have saved one human being, you have saved the whole of humanity. The only statement that you can find such a statement in any religious scripture, it is the glorious Quran. And quoting out of context is very common. I'll let you give you an example regarding myself. Because of the popularity that is there, giving lectures, coming on television. About 1.5 years back, I was supposed to go to Canada, and we had publicized. It's going to be the largest conference of North America. The largest English conference in the world that takes place, it's in Bombay. It's a non-Muslim country. It's a non-Muslim city. And about 1 million people attend this conference. In English, it's the largest. Technically, it is the strongest, alhamdulillah. So we thought we'll do a smaller version in Canada, and we publicized. We're going to a peace conference, the largest in North America. And suddenly you find in the Toronto news, a Muslim preacher wants to come to Canada and hear what he says. Then they show a clipping of myself. When you beat your wife, do not beat on her face. When you beat her, do not leave a mark on the body. Point number 1, when you beat her, do not beat on her face. Point number 2, when you beat her, do not leave a mark on your body. And the clipping ends. This preacher of Islam wants to come to Canada and blah, blah, blah. And he wants to give a speech. Immediately there was a furore. Any person who goes on the YouTube and goes on the Google, types will get the full context. This was the clipping of one of my question answer session where a non-Muslim poses a question that the Quran says that you can beat your wife. So I'm explaining him the context. This is the verse of the Quran of Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 35, which says that if you find immodesty on the part of your wife, if she's not modest, and she betrays you in the modesty, then first you warn her. If she doesn't listen, then you stop sharing the bed. Yet if she doesn't listen, then you can beat her lightly. The Arabic word is daraba. And I go on to explain about the hadith of the Prophet. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, says that it is somewhat like beating with a miswak. Miswak is a toothbrush. It's a small, thin stick. Miswak, toothbrush. And as in modern terminology, I will say beating with handkerchief. But even if you beat with the miswak, the Prophet said, see to it, point number 1, don't beat your wife on the face. Point number 2, don't beat in a way where you leave a mark on the body. You know, when you beat someone with a handkerchief, it's a symbolic beating. So it is more for symbolic beating that it's the ultimatum to your wife, that this is the last warning. Now they remove the front and the back. Point number 1, you want to beat your wife, don't beat on the face. Point number 2, beat your wife in such a way, don't leave a mark. As though you're giving a training to the police, that when you catch the criminal, give them good in the cell. See to it, don't beat on the face, hit them in the parts of the body which doesn't leave a mark. This is absolute devilish. Why are they afraid of the truth? If they really wanted to show my clipping, they should have shown the full question as well as the answer.